Hello, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We have an exciting demonstration here showing you some different drills to grow as an artist and to learn and explore your new supplies from the 2016 Smile, Create, Repeat Deluxe Holiday Sketch Box. Uh, this, uh, s- this special surprise is really exciting. We've included a ton of awesome supplies that we think you're going to love, and this lesson is broken down into 3 different videos. The other 2 videos are going to be linked below in the description, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is basically we're going to use our brush pen and look at landscapes and, for example, and break it down into darks and just connect the shadows. So I'm going to start, and these are just small, just studies. A little more ink. So I just make in a box so I can determine the size I'm going to do. So this is here, here, and what we're doing is you got to break it down into light and dark. So you have 2 values. Right now is all we're doing. We're just doing the darkest dark, and then we will maybe add the light in later. Okay. And let's see, that's the tree in this building. Oh, and that is way too tall. I did a bad job in perspective and proportions, but that's alright. Because I'm just trying to capture. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'm going to distort it a little bit just to make this a little higher. And maybe that billboard is there. Okay, and this is all. Now this brush is neat the way it breaks up when I'm using it on its side. Okay. So that's that. So let's just go in again, just with the light, and really focus on where the lightest lights are. We have some of the cloud right here that I want to show, and it would probably be all of the sky, wouldn't it? But this is the part that you need to decide. What do you want? Do you want, are you painting the white clouds, or are you painting the light sky? And it gets a little darker as I go up, so I'm trying to show that by doing dashes or hash marks or whatever, spaced apart so more of the paper is shown through. And then I think the road, is that as light as the sky? It almost is. So I'm just doing a little bit because you want to leave some of the paper because that's the mid value. So that's what I'm doing. And then maybe you have, but you don't want to get into too much detail like this. But I'm doing it just to see what it looks like. But I think it's stronger if you just leave the shadow. Alright, that's one. And that's all they are. They're that quick. Just quick little studies. And you just do these. So what did that took, I don't know, not even 5 minutes, and that was with me yapping for a little while at the beginning. So sorry, I'm just switching pictures. Okay, now I have a vertical one. Alright, now this is, again, And the advantage of doing this, or why you would do this, is to design your picture. So it needs to have a strong dark and light for your composition, because if that's no good, then no matter what you do with drawing and color and all that, it's not going to save it, because this is one of the most important parts of the picture. So this one's kind of an easy one, because you really have the strong sun setting behind these trees. But maybe we can do this as really bright whites, but maybe I can, you know, make the sky the brightest part and some of the light on the clouds, or some of the clouds, the mid-tone, right? And then the top of the paper is going to be a mid-tone too, so this value is going to be the same as the shadow sides of the clouds. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'm just coloring, adding in the light to this. And like the last one, I'm going to make it fade to less white, and then you'll add more of those clouds in there if you want. And that's just showing you that it fades up to the same value. So that's another one. Alright, we have another vertical here. Okay, now this one, there is a lot going on here. So this is really low, so I'm going to do this, the houses and everything way in the back, because this is all, it might not be the darkest, but if I'm only using three values, right? So that could have been, technically, I guess that could have been the mid value right there. Then the tree, let's do this side first. It's a big group of trees. And that all blends in. This is kind of a neat brush. It gives you a lot of the dry brush. Then I'm doing that quickly to get just the sticks, or the branches, and then this is the trunk over there. So this one, and we'll go in and again add the light, which is really right down here. And I'm going to do just that part because I want the focus to be right there, the silhouette of the house and the trees. And here's the last one. So this is horizontal. Make sure you're still in the scene. Okay, and this one, is kind of neat because there's a lot of... Alright, so let's bang that. That's that. And then, oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's not quite like that, but let's adjust that a little bit more. Okay. Okay, there's that. And then I'm going to say that's really it for that one. And I'm not going to go ahead and do all this, but I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. So we have the edge light around that big snowball. This is when the day after. This is from the warm day after a snowfall. Snowmen melted. So what I'm doing is I'm using the shadows from the snowmen. I'm going to use as the mid value because the dark, the ground, whatever that is in the back, is the darkest, of course. The snow is the lightest. And then the shadows, I think, are the mid value. And a lot of reflected blue from the sky in there. So this is just a quick drawing just so you get the idea. But you could do that. But then maybe you could, there's a lot of reflected light in the snowmen, of course. So maybe I could put a little bit in there, right? So if you're going in and doing more details, and if you do that, you're going to want to make this whiter because you really need to keep the values separate, but not really in this case. Hope you're following along with me as I talk in circles. And so there you go. So that is using your brush pen and your white gel pen in your toned sketchbook. Really practicing seeing things just as solid dark shapes and then adding the light in, which will really help your compositions. And click the links below to see part 2 and part 3 of this lesson. Thank you. Alright, so there you go. There's the toned studies with landscapes, so you really can start seeing the grouping of the dark shapes. I hope you enjoyed this. Check out the other 2 videos for this lesson. The links are in the description below. And there's also still time to subscribe and receive the January surprise if you go to smilecreaterepeat.com. And if you want, you can order a past surprise and give that as a gift, and then they will receive that before Christmas if you order this before Christmas, a couple days before Christmas or so. Thanks for watching, and have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Alright, I did this one already, but I didn't like how it came out, and I also wanted it to be the black on the pen to be more black, so you really just have to squeeze it a lot and test it. But you can, I don't know if you can see it, but that's really shiny, the bristles now, the tip. So there's a lot of ink there. So when I did this the first time, I blocked in everything on the bottom as shadow, which it might have been, it could have been, but as I was talking to you and doing it, I thought that that would be nicer if the snow in the shadow there was the mid-tone, because we have these dark trees and then we have the light sky, and that's it. So I didn't want it to be two. I wanted to use some of the paper. So that's why I'm redoing this part of the demo. And here we have a fine line under the fence. And this is shadow. And there's a bunch of little branches there, but I'm not worrying about all those. We have that tree, and that house is shadow. And that's the big trunk there. And this is, and look, it's a brush, so you can use it like it's a brush. You don't need to just draw with the point, right? But don't get it too spaced out, because what we're trying to do is connect the shapes of the shadow. And then I'm going down here, get the shadow of the trunk, and then to the side is all shadow, and then you have the trunk there, and then there's some pine needles that are not covered with snow. So I think that is much better. Now I'm going to go in and add some of the sky. And there's a lot of ink on there right now, so I might need to wait a minute just for it to dry. So we got the light on this trunk here and there. Then we got some sky. Okay, the house is there, so that is the roof of the house. And there's light up here. So all the sky. And this is blending a little bit. It's not a big deal. Okay, so that's going to be all white. And then there's a little bit of light shining through the trees, but you don't worry about let me try that again. You don't want to worry about all those details. You just want the big shapes, the big light, the big dark. So now I'm going in. I'm not going to keep doing this because you don't need to watch me just color, but I'm just going back over the white I already did to get it a little more white. So it really shows the contrast and separates the light and the dark. And then I would go in and do those two, these light shapes. And the house is here, so the roof is there. Yep. And you want to really go, I guess you do want to go in and do those if you need to show it. So I think that is, and let's go back in. One more thing, I just want to add a little line here at the top of the fence. Again, these are details you don't need to bother with, but I just wanted to. And there you go. So that's what I should have shown you the first time and what I saw as I was doing it. So this is why, this is a great lesson. This is why you do thumbnails, because I did something and then I didn't like it, and I liked it, so I fixed it, and I think it came out stronger. And let's see, so there's the first one. And you can see, I think it's stronger. The drawing's better. So there you go. Thank you.